Have you ever imagined turning your challenges into something beautiful and powerful, like a flower turning soil into fragrance? Sadhguru shows us it's possible, but it requires a fundamental shift in how we see life. There's a force accessible to everyone, yet only a few know how to unlock it. If you're tired of feeling like something's missing, maybe it's time to explore how this energy can change everything. Ready to take the first step toward transformation? Think about how a flower turns ordinary soil into a beautiful fragrance. It feels almost magical, but as Sadhguru teaches, this magic is simply nature working through grace. Just like that flower, you can transform your life too, but it starts with something simple, being open to that force. Imagine grace as the wind. It's everywhere, but it only moves the sails that are ready. Now ask yourself, are your sails ready? Maybe it's time to adjust your mast. Tapping into this invisible force doesn't require anything fancy. Sadhguru compares consciousness to a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. Need an example? Spend 5 minutes each morning breathing deeply and focusing on something you want to transform. Maybe it's a small step, like improving a relationship or finding a creative solution to a problem. The key is simple: stay present. Once you start, grace begins to act like a catalyst. You know that feeling of being in the zone, when everything seems to flow effortlessly. That's not a coincidence, it's energy responding to your openness. But here's the thing, it doesn't happen automatically. It takes practice and sometimes a bit of course correction. How does this energy connect to your everyday life? Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Picture a starry night where every point of light feels connected in an infinite vastness. That's how Sadhguru describes grace, a force that binds everything and everyone. It doesn't discriminate. It's available to anyone willing to receive it. But here's the catch: how much of your ego are you willing to set aside to access this vastness? Maybe it's time to let go of trying to control everything and trust a little more. Letting go of your ego doesn't mean losing yourself. It's about making room for what truly matters. Think about a time when you felt deeply connected to someone, maybe during a heartfelt hug or an honest conversation. That connection is a glimpse of what grace can do, but on an even greater scale. Here's a simple practice. Take a few minutes to look at the night sky without distractions and feel how you're part of something much bigger. This perspective isn't just inspiring, it's transformative. When you recognize that everything is interconnected, your actions take on a different weight. It's no longer me versus the world, but me as part of the world, and this is where grace becomes a practical force, aligning your intentions, actions, and outcomes. But how do you cultivate this connection in everyday life? Well, the answer might be as simple as starting your day with gratitude. Sadhguru suggests a simple yet powerful practice. Start your day with gratitude. Before grabbing your phone or diving into your to-do list, take a moment to reflect on something positive in your life. It could be as basic as appreciating the comfort of your bed, or as profound as recognizing the love of someone special. This small pause creates a mental space that prepares you to welcome grace with greater clarity. When you practice gratitude regularly, your mind begins to shift. Think of it as a workout for your brain. The more you focus on the positive, the easier it becomes to see opportunities instead of problems. Here's a practical example. Each night, write down 3 things you're grateful for that day. You'll notice that even on the toughest days, there's always something to appreciate. Gratitude isn't just about how you feel. It's about how you act. Expressing your gratitude, whether through words or actions, creates a cycle of positive energy. It doesn't mean ignoring challenges. It means approaching them from a place of strength and awareness. Now imagine the impact of making conscious decisions and turning every experience into a stepping stone toward something greater. Let's dive into that next. Life is full of decisions, both big and small, but it's your state of mind when making them that truly matters. Sadhguru explains that conscious choices are like seeds planted with intention. They grow healthier and yield better fruits. For instance, when facing a challenge at work, instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, what outcome truly matters here? This simple habit can transform stress into a learning opportunity. Conscious choices don't require perfection, just attention. Let's say you have a habit of procrastinating. Instead of beating yourself up, try making a realistic list of priorities for the day and celebrate each task you complete. Small changes like this create big results over time. They not only boost your efficiency, but also create a ripple effect, bringing more clarity and balance to other areas of your life. The impact goes beyond just you. When you act consciously, you inspire others to do the same, fostering a more positive and collaborative environment. And what ties all of this together is the energy you put into your actions. But what happens when you start to see beyond appearances and tap into a deeper perception? That takes us to the metaphor of the sage and the king. Sadhguru shares the story of a blind sage invited by a king to solve a problem no one in his court could fix. Though the sage couldn't see with his eyes, he had a unique perception that could cut through appearances and get to the heart of the issue. Upon arriving at the palace, he asked for silence and sat on the floor, listening carefully to the voices and sounds around him. Curious, the king asked, "How can you help if you can't see the problem?" The sage calmly replied, "I see with something beyond my eyes." This story carries a profound teaching. We often get so caught up in what's on the surface that we miss what truly matters. Think about how quick we are to judge people based on appearances, or how we react impulsively in tough situations. The sage's lesson is clear: by developing the ability to see beyond, whether through intuition, grace, or conscious perception, we can make wiser and fairer decisions. A practical example: when dealing with a family conflict, instead of focusing solely on what's been said, try to sense what's behind the words. You might uncover hidden needs and emotions, turning conflict into understanding. This deeper perception impacts more than just personal interactions. It shapes how you see the world. The sage wasn't concerned with others' judgments or the king's opinion. He trusted his connection to something greater. That kind of trust is something we can all cultivate. Practice listening without interrupting. Observe your thoughts without rushing to react, and ask yourself, am I seeing the full picture or just what's obvious? This simple reflection can completely change how you approach any situation. When you align your actions with this clarity, you open yourself to a deeper level of awareness, something we can explore further by applying these teachings in everyday life. Now that you've learned these teachings from Sadhguru, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Are you ready to change your perspective and make space for transformation? Remember, grace is always available, but it's up to you to let it into your life. If this content inspired you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and continue this journey of growth. The next step is just a click away.